Hello, sixth grade. Today is lesson 3 technically, but the combination of lessons 5 and 6 for math. So we're looking at solving problems by finding equivalent ratios. So just a little review from last time. So we looked at finding whether or not these were, finding the answer to make them equivalent. So we had 3 apples for 1 orange. You had to find out that 12 apples was to 4 oranges, and then to the 3 oranges, so 9 apples to 3 oranges, and then you wrote them in the ratio form, so 3 to 1, 12 to 4, and 9 to 3. And then if we would find out whether or not they were equivalent, we could take 12 divided by 4, and we know that that's 3. We take 3 divided by 1, we know that's 3. And we take 9 divided by 3, we know that's 3. So, as I already said, so we can find out if they're equivalent ratios. So let's just look at a couple examples right away. So a county superintendent is interested in the numbers of different types of vehicles that regularly travel within his county. In August, a total of 192 registrations were purchased for passenger cars and pickup trucks at the DMV. For every 5 passenger cars registered, there were 7 pickup trucks. And then we're looking to find how many of each type were registered. So our ratio is 5 to 7. We can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares here to represent the passenger cars. And then we have 7 here for the pickup trucks. So first of all, to find how many were registered, we need to find how many total parts are there. So we take the 5 passenger cars and the 7 pickup trucks, we get what? Well, we get 12. So we know that there's 12 total parts in our diagram. So there's 5 passenger cars, 7 pickup trucks that make a combined 12 total cars for the parts. So 5 to 12 is the passenger car to total number of cars, and 7 to 12 is the pickup truck to total number of cars. Okay, so we know the total was 192. In order to figure out the total number of equal parts, so what each of these squares represents, we can take 192 divided by 12. If you're able to do that, go right ahead and give you a second or two. So we find that 192 divided by 12 is 16. So each one of these squares represents 16 cars. So now how do we find out how many of each type were registered? Well, we can take 5 times 16 for the passenger cars and 7 times 16 for the pickup trucks. And we get there were 80 passenger cars and 112 pickup trucks. And we can check that. If we add them together, we get 192 total cars. All right. So we can also find missing quantities. So we're still looking at this county superintendent. Now he wants to know more about the commercial and non-commercial vehicles. So he learns that for every 14 non-commercial vehicles, and excuse me because I forgot to change this, so this should be the non-commercial up here. So he learns for every 14 non-commercial vehicles, there are 5 commercial vehicles. And then he also knows there are 108 more non-commercial vehicles than commercial. So how many of each type are there? So we know that because there's 14 up here and 5 spaces down here, there are 9 more that represent the non-commercial vehicles. And those 9 also represent the 108 more vehicles. So now it's changed. So again, I apologize. So he knows there are 108 more. So we can find out what each individual square represents by taking 108 divided by 9. And then that'll tell us each individual one. So we find that that is 12. So each of the little squares represents 12 vehicles. So when we can take 12 times 5 to find there are 60 commercial vehicles, and 12 times 14 to find there are 168 non-commercial vehicles. And then you can check that again. 168 minus 60 is 108, which was the more vehicles that the county superintendent knew. Okay? So I'm going to have you work on this one on your own. So again, pause it, and then when you're ready, hit play to see the answers. Peter is trying to work out by completing sit-ups and push-ups. He was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups. but then he only completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. So he completed the same number of total repetitions before and after switching. So during the second training, we know he completed 8 push-ups. We need to find out how many push-ups he did during the first set of training. So if he completed 8 push-ups, we need to find out the total number of repetitions. So if he did 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up, we can take 7 times 8 to find out how many total sit-ups he did, which is shown here. So 8 push-ups means he completed 56 sit-ups for a total of 64 repetitions. And then at the top, we know 5 sit-ups plus 3 push-ups means 8. So he did 8 reps total. We take 64 divided by 8. He did 8 there too. So 8 total repetitions for the first training. So to figure out how many push-ups he did, we take 8 times 3, which equals 24. So 24 total push-ups. Okay, one more. Again, hit play or hit pause, and then when you're ready, hit play to see the answer. So at the beginning of 6th grade, the ratio of the number of advanced math students to the number of regular math students was 3 to 8. So 3 advanced math students for every 8 regular students. After the placement test, students were moved, changing the ratio to 4 to 7. So 4 advanced for 7 regular. So how many students started in regular math and advanced math if there were 92 students in advanced math after taking the placement test? So first, let's find the total number of students. So if we take 92 divided by 4, because that's how many is represented in our ratio, we find that there are 23 sets for our each one here. So we take that times 11, we get 253 total students, and then each space we know represents 23 kids. So if we're looking back at the original one, we can take 23 times 3 to find there were 69 advanced math students, and 23 times 8 to find there are 184 regular math students. So today you're going to do the same thing you did last week as far as identifying equivalent ratios. So it's 6-R.5, and I'll suggest it to you on iExcel, but I'll also link it on Edmodo for you. So if you need more help with the lesson, or if you're having issues with equivalent ratios, let me know. The goal is to get the 100 SMART score, but I do not want you working on iExcel for more than 30 minutes on this one skill. Okay, so if you hit that 30-minute mark, just stop where you're at, regardless of what your SMART score is. Okay? Again, if you have questions, let me know.